Sun, sea and beach. Without a doubt, the three main ingredients for a great day out with the family at the seaside. And quite probably, you also enjoy that refreshing sea breeze blowing in your hair and clearing those cobwebs away. And yet, you probably never stop to think that the wind can also be very useful for other things. To create energy, for instance. Wind is a renewable source of energy. It's part and parcel of nature and is neither harmful for man nor the environment. No wonder then that in recent years, not only has there been considerable investment in the ongoing perfection of windmill technology, wind energy is also winning new supporters every day. And Belgium is no exception. It also backs wind energy to the hilt. The Thornton Bank is a long sandbank some 20 kilometers in length that runs parallel to the Belgian coastline. The sandbank lies at an average depth of -16 meters, or roughly 10 meters above the surrounding waters. The sandbank also lies some 30 kilometers from the Belgian coast, in fact, nearly as far as the distance from Dover to Calais, and far enough away not to disturb the lovely sea view from land. The project anticipates that 60 wind turbines will be operational on the sandbank by 2011. The construction and installation of these 60 turbines will be carried out in 3 stages. During the first stage, 6 turbines will be installed. During the second stage, a further 18. And after the third stage, the remaining 36 will be ready for operation. The main advantage of the sandbank is that its location out to sea means the wind blows considerably stronger there. The 60 wind turbines start to turn from a wind force of 2 to 3 and reach full power at wind force 6. They're only shut down when the wind reaches gale force 11 to avoid overburdening the turbines. A lot of progress has been made in wind turbines in the area of aerodynamics. The dimensions of the turbines are also getting larger and larger. The ones that will be used on the Thornton Bank measure 180 meters from their seabed foundations to the tips of their sails. A pretty impressive height when you realize that the Atomium comes a poor second at 102 meters. The wind energy park will supply a total power of 300 megawatts, the result of 60 wind turbines generating 5 megawatts of power each. Annual production should reach 1,000 gigawatt hour. By way of comparison, the power will be sufficient to supply electricity to 600,000 inhabitants for a year. The first stage in the project's construction is preparing the turbine's foundations. This will be done at the Halve Maan, situated right next to the port channel in Ostend. The foundations will be first cast at the site before the integration of the other construction elements, such as access ladders and access platforms, into the foundation structure. In the first stage, 6 foundations will be completed. Once the foundations are complete, they'll be transported to the quay. Each of them weighs roughly 2,800 tons. Once they've arrived, the foundations will be picked up from the quay by a sea-going heavy lift vessel. At the construction site, the preparations have to be made. The same goes for the Thornton Bank. First and foremost, the seabed at each of the foundation installation points has to be made ready to act as a stable base when the foundations are sunk. The first step is to dredge an excavation pit. Dredging is carried out in 2 stages. During the first stage, a trailing suction hopper dredger removes the loose layer of sand to provide a more level surface. During the second phase, the trailing suction hopper dredger sucks away the more compact layer of sand. In the third dredging phase, the excess sand and sediment is removed to give a flatter and more stable sea floor. Once the sea floor is deemed sufficiently level, it's time for the fall pipe vessel to lay a layer of gravel. The fall pipe vessel is a vessel that can spread a layer of gravel in an incredibly accurate way on the seabed, using precision positioning instruments. The next step in the construction is erecting the foundations on the pre-prepared seabed. The seagoing heavy lift vessel transports the prefabricated foundations to the pre-prepared location. The seagoing heavy lift vessel then lowers the foundation down on the layer of gravel. The trailing hopper suction dredger now pumps sand into the foundation to provide ballast for the construction. This increases the total mass of the foundation so that it can better withstand the action of currents and the waves. Now the foot of the foundation in the excavation pit is filled in again with sand, anchoring it to the seabed. Finally, the area around the foundation is protected by a layer of stones from a side stone dumping vessel. The slag stones are tipped over the side of the ship in various layers to avoid any further erosion of the seabed. Meanwhile, back at the Hull of Oman, it's time to mount the turbines. The various parts of the wind turbine are mounted on it with the help of a crane. Once the wind turbine is completely assembled, it's ready to be transported to the Thornton Bank. Once again, the seagoing heavy lift vessel is called in, this time to raise the wind turbine from the quay. The turbine is now ready to be erected on top of the foundation. The seagoing heavy lift vessel transports the wind turbine until it's above the pre-positioned foundation. The wind turbine is then fixed securely on top of the foundation using the seagoing heavy lift vessel's crane. An innovative construction is used here to ensure the mounting is carried out as smoothly and as fast as possible. The result? The turbine is now ready to be made operational. The last stage of the process is connecting the wind turbines to the public electricity grid. The connecting cables run in loops per 6 wind turbines to the transformation platform located on the Thornton Bank. This is where the accumulated energy is transformed into a higher tension of 150,000 volts to avoid any energy loss during transport. The 2 sea cables link the transformation station over a distance of 38.7 kilometers to the coast. The cables are buried to a depth of at least 2 meters in the seabed. The transport of the generated energy occurs at the transformation station via 2 underground cable connections with a cross-section of 22 centimeters. By means of directional drilling, the sea cables are run from a depth of 4 meters under the waterline once they've reached the coast and then travel under the dunes on land. Once they've reached their arrival point, the sea cables are connected to the land cables. The land cables are then completely laid underground between the destination point over a distance of 3.8 kilometers up to their final destination, the high-tension station, Post Slakens. Here, the high-tension cables are connected to the public electricity supply. The transport and the distribution network then supply the accumulated energy at sea to the users. In the future, families will be able to take their electricity from energy generated out at sea. The Thornton Bank is a unique project that guarantees durable energy for the future.